Welcome back to the Daily Drum on WHUR and Sirius XM Channel 141. This is the Insight segment. I'm Harold Fisher. Did you feel the chill in the air this morning? Woo! We are definitely feeling the fall weather. So, what are you going to wear as the temperatures cool off? We have our seasonal fashion conversation tonight, asking about the trends, what's in, what's out, and how to look your best. Also, because we don't want to be insensitive as it relates to just where we are. A lot of our listeners are federal government employees. A lot of people are trying to hold on to their coins. And so we're going to have a few tips on how you can shop if you need to for the things that you want so that you can look good just in case you may have to go out there and find another gig. My guests are Paula Mason, fashion stylist, and Michael Johnson, custom tailor and member of the Silver Fox Squad. Hey, everybody, how are you?
Hello.
Hey, Harold, how you doing? Good day, Paula.
Yes. I'm doing just fine. Thank you all for coming in and joining the conversation. I want to start first with you, Paula. As I mentioned, fall is here. Temperatures are very, very crisp. And even though this weekend we may have some warmer weather, the reality is after that little trend, the weather's going to cool off. We've got homecomings coming up for the HBCUs. And so, what is the overall trend, Paula, for women this fall? And I'm not talking necessarily about dressing up, but I'm talking about being looking good when you're out and about and casual.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you, Harold. So I would say take your existing wardrobe and let's add to it. Add to it. So ladies, if you have the micro mini skirts or the mini skirts, just add your tights to that. And we love our long dusters. So have a long duster that complements your color scheme. Your long denim jackets, the dusters with the patches and the buttons and the sequins. I love those. So add that to your wardrobe, and don't forget to add that Michael hat. I'm looking at this hat over here, y'all, and I need me one of those hats for the winter. Okay. But I know we probably get to it later, but we can do all of this on the budget. It's now time to pull out your ankle boots, your calf boots. Those are acceptable now. So let's move into that avenue of bringing in fall gracefully. And we love something that's trending is the nude colored leggings that also can work as a tight. So that's something that you can add to your wardrobe.
Well, Michael, I'm sure that you would agree that we are definitely here for the micro mini skirts. So,
well, I'm married, so hey, Harold, I wouldn't know about that.
Oh, okay, he said that's right. You're not as a married man. What is a micro mini skirt?
I have no idea, sir.
You have no idea.
Good answer. Good
answer. My name is Bennett, and I'm not in it.
That's right. But hold on for a minute, Paula, because you did say something that struck me. When we talk about nude colors for shoes, we are thinking beige, but we are talking about Black people here. So what is nude for Black women? I mean, they come in every shade from butter pecan to French roast coffee.
Oh yes,
So
it's covered.
does the nude change?
Yeah. So when you say nude, that's your flesh tone. So whatever your flesh tone is, the generic saying is nude. So your flesh tone color. And the trend is you can wear this particular pant that's also a legging as a tight. So it complements any outfits, and it comes in different shades of colors, and it's available. I call it Amazon. It's available on Amazon. So You can get it. It's in my shopping cart right now. It's on sale for $7 right now. So
Wow.
go check that out. And ladies, if you need to get with me to shop on a budget, we can do some thrift trips, and we can follow me on Facebook, Paula Mason, and we'll come together and go thrift tripping.
Real quick, because I don't wear tights and I don't wear leggings. What's the difference?
Mm.
Leggings are considered a pant, but someone was brilliant enough to make a pant that can also convert as a tight. And it complements your skirts, your dresses. And if you don't want to, if you're not into the, I'm gonna say the tight or the stocking, I haven't seen stockings in years. This legging can convert. It's a 2-in-1, so you can definitely wear it with a dress, a skirt, or without. You can complement that with a shirt or an oversized tunic like I have on today. So
wait a minute. So help me. So let me see if I have this right. And this is for the guys out there who may be shopping for their partners or their wives or what have you. Yep. So tights are like thick stockings,
correct,
but leggings would double as pants. So leggings would be even thicker.
Correct. Should be.
Should be.
Yeah. And this new style of flesh tone legging that I'm speaking of, it is thicker. It's actually lined with a fleece type material. But on the outside, it has this nude color, flesh tone color that'll complement your skin tone.
Yeah. So definitely something for the cooler weather.
Definitely for the cooler weather. Absolutely. And you can't go wrong with jeans. You can always jazz the jeans up. Always.
I'm going to talk about jazzing those jeans up, or what is considered jazzy, in a bit. But I want to go to Michael. Michael, what would you see as the men's trend for the fall?
Yeah. So thank you, Harold, for inviting me on again.
Always.
A couple of things, right? One of the things I'm seeing is browns are coming back really strong in terms of color. Browns and tans, they're going to be really, really strong this year. You're going to see a lot of the greens, the moss, the olives, those things. But in reference to just clothing, layering up. So one of the things you'll probably see a lot of men doing, denim is going to be huge as well. It's going to play an important part of our fashion. So you might see someone wearing actually an overcoat over a denim jacket, then layer with a sweater, a shirt, and maybe a neckerchief or something of that sort with a nice pair of boots. And since I'm saying this, we're talking about boots. Western wear is going to be extremely popular, probably for the next couple of years. As you can see today, I'm wearing a Western hat. It's going to be extremely popular. Exactly, right? And here's what's crazy. I never thought that DC, since we're in DC regionally, I never thought DC would really take or participate in this Western movement as much as other parts of the country. But DC is as deep into the Western movement as anyone else. So you're going to see a lot of that as well. You're going to see the boots come back, all the different kinds with the different types of leathers, whether it be a caiman, whether it be, hornback, whether it be stingray or, ostrich, whatever. You're going to see a lot of these different things. And we're already starting to see it now.
So
I have to just co-sign that yes, the ladies are rocking it with the rhinestone boot. And I know with the big buckle. So I love it. They're ankle length, calf length, full length. So the Western style is very popular and it's here to stay for a minute. Yep.
It is.
You know what, Michael? Being a DC guy from way back in the day, and I'm sure you all remember this, and I'm talking specifically about the men, not the women.
Okay.
There was a time when you saw a brother walking around with cowboy boots, particularly if he was a young guy, you would call him a Bama. And,
that's definitely true.
That's very true. But to your point, the Western gear that we are seeing a lot of guys wear, and there's so many styles of boots. And one of the things that I've noticed is the less traditional, pointy-toed boot or rounded toe. But I've started to see guys with the square-toe boot. What do you talk to me about that, Mike?
Yeah, so in the South, man, and I'm actually kind of I'm between Houston and DC a lot, or DC and Houston, I should say a lot. And what I've noticed is the square toe boot is the most common type of boot worn now. I think it's because it's a little bit more comfortable, because in the toe box, it opens up that bottom part of the foot. So your foot isn't kind of, I guess, scrunched together a little bit. Yep. And then style wise, a lot of guys, they love that boot, man. For me personally, I haven't gotten into the square toe. I'm still more on the traditional side. But that square toe boot, you're going to see a whole lot of that. That is very, very, very popular.
So let me ask you this, Michael, because I know that, as a tailor, fit is really important, yep. But it's not just the clothes, it's also the shoes. And I'm going to ask Paula about this also, and this is hyper specific, but when you are fitting a shoe, how do you know that it is right for you beyond the obvious? If it doesn't fit, then throw it out. But what should you look for? Because trying on a shoe in the store and it seems okay, but then you start walking around in it and all of a sudden itchy owie.
Yeah, I think this is almost universal, and Paula, you can jump in here a little bit. But comfort, so let's put it this way: at a certain age, things change, right? So when you're younger, I'm gonna say on the 35 and down, or up to 35, you can wear shoes that hurt your feet for hours because it doesn't bother you. When you get to the 40s, and especially in your 50s, you throw it out the window. You want a pair of shoes that are gonna be first extremely comfortable. If they're not comfortable, you're only gonna wear them, especially for ladies, because I style ladies as well. They're only gonna wear those shoes for the moment. So when the moment is over, they got on flats. They keep flats. They keep that stuff in their purse because you can ball them things up, roll them up, throw them in your purse, whatever the case, and throw them on. For men, it's the same thing. And this is a good question, Harold, because a lot of men don't take care of their feet. And because they don't take care of their feet, they have ankle problems, they have knee problems, and also back problems. Mm-hmm. So you want to get a pair of shoes that, number one, fit you well. They're the proper fit, meaning they aren't too big, they aren't too small, but they fit you properly. And the other thing is you want them to be extremely comfortable. Now, for some of us, aesthetics take over everything. But aesthetics will only last you for a few minutes, and then now you're hurting and you can't walk and this and that and the other. But you want a pair of shoes that are comfortable. You also want your shoes to complement what you're wearing, whether it's a leather, a suede, whatever it might be, a sneaker, whatever. You want the shoe to complement what you're wearing. So what I tell my clients is, some shoes I'll wear with everything. For instance, and again, because we're talking Western, I figured out the trick with this Western thing. You can actually, and this is a tip for everybody out there, especially men. Let's say you're struggling trying to figure out what pair of shoes I want to wear with this outfit, right? A pair of boots would probably fit you just as well as a pair of shoes. And the reason being is because it gives you that third or that fourth option as opposed to a sneaker or a dress shoe or this athleisure type shoe, which is that combination of like a sneaker and then a dress shoe as well. A boot is a great option to go with. I've been doing it a lot now. I've been experimenting with it, watching the guys down here in Texas do it. It's a great look. Matter of fact, I'm dubbing myself the Black J.R. Ewing now because I'm wearing boots with suits. I'm wearing them with jeans. I'm wearing them with everything. And it's a super duper great look. And this is something I normally don't share, and I ain't going to gatekeep on this, so I'm going to let you know. This is going to be one of my secret weapons for this fall, is the boot. I'm going to be wearing boots all throughout the fall. I've already started a collection of boots. I promise you, it's going to be a great look. And men, you can wear boots with suits. I wouldn't wear the square toe boots, but I will wear the other ones. Although I do see men here in Texas, they're wearing the square toe boots. But boots are super sexy with a suit. I promise you. I've seen the light, and I promise you, I'm bringing the light to DC. It's going to be something to behold. I promise you.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Although, for those of us of a certain age who do remember JR from Dallas, JR was shot, Michael, and we want you to be around. So,
listen, I'm not trying to get shot, but listen, I'm trying. If you remember J.R. Ewing, the one thing that most people remember about J.R. Ewing, first of all, they were filthy, stinking rich. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that dude dressed immaculately well. He was always dressed well. He probably, in my opinion, was one of the best dressed men on TV even today.
Well, see, there you go. Listen, we're going to get to Paula to hear what she has to say about boots and shoes, and we're going to continue this fall conversation, fall fashion. And as I said, we are also going to continue our looking good, our bougie on a budget looking good conversation, because right now these are kind of tough financial times, but people still need to make sure that they look good when they need to. So please stay with us. The Daily Drum will continue on Sirius XM channel 141 and 96.3 in just a bit. Coming up next on WHUR.com, the original Quiet Storm with Raheem Devon. We will be back in just a bit. Welcome back to the Daily Drum on Sirius XM channel 141. I'm Harold Fisher. We continue our conversation tonight about seasonal fashion. The weather has turned cool, and we're asking our fashion experts about the trends, what's in, what's out, how to look your best, and how to do it also on a budget. We want to be sensitive to people right now who are very, very concerned about holding on to their coins. But the reality is that if they are furloughed or laid off and need to get out and be professional, we want to teach you how to do it without breaking the bank. My guests are Paula Mason, fashion stylist, and custom tailor and member of the Silver Fox Squad, Michael Johnson. Paula, before the break, Michael was talking about shoes. So this is my question for you about fit. I got a little story here because I want to ask you about this, and this could be something that is individual. But I remember it was this summer. I went to a party, and this was a party of mature people for the most part. Most everyone was over the age of 40, although there were some who were younger than that. And I remember that most of the women in the party, after about an hour or two, all of them came out of their high heel shoes and they put on their sparkly flats, with the exception of one lady who had on a pair of stiletto high heel mules. They were beautiful. She never ever switched to flats. The entire party, which lasted for about a good 4 hours, she never came out of that. Is that a physiological thing, or do you think that may have had something to do with the actual shoe?
I'm going to say the shoe.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I actually shop for comfort, even with my stilettos. I shop for comfort in my stilettos. And in my part-time, I am a model. So I
Right,
find
I've
that
seen you.
shoe where I can grace the runway and still have comfort. Sometimes I have to take the ooey ouchie, to get down the runway. But lately I've been preparing to, as Michael stated earlier, to preserve my knees and my back,
Yeah.
because it will become a factor as you start to age like fine wine. So it does, play a part. But I would say shop to find that timeless shoe and boot or boot, because I have a shoe fetish. I have a problem. So make
I
it
think
work
that's
for
a
you.
DC thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
comfort,
can
color,
recommend
style.
a counselor for you, but go ahead.
So do it all. I say do it all while you can do it, but also plan to preserve. But look stylish while you're doing it. As Michael said, the boots are fabulous. The stilettos are too. And I see that the classic pump is making its way back.
Mhm.
Platforms are still fabulous. They're still fabulous, but the classic stiletto is still running neck and neck with the platform.
So let
Yep.
me drill down a little bit more about that, Paula, because and you and I have been friends for a really, really long time, and I've seen you work, and I know that when you've done your fashion shows, when you are doing commentary for public events, and those events, from the time that I get there and that you may arrive until it's over, the event itself may be 90 minutes, but
Mhm.
you're there, 2 hours, 3 hours beforehand, and an
Yes.
hour or so afterwards. And but you walk in dressed in those heels. So what is it specifically about the shoes that you're wearing that will allow you, because a lot of ladies would want to hear this. Is it something about the shoe? Are you putting pads in? What are you looking for when you're shopping? And particularly for those who may want to bolster their fall wardrobe with heels.
Yeah, so when I do purchase a shoe, I make sure I can stand in it completely, that I can stand upright completely, and that my movements are graceful and not compromised. So if it's any little bit of compromise, if my little pinky toe hurting, that's a no. That's a no. So I make sure I do the test drive before I buy. So I have to do that because, as you said, Harold, I'm in pumps for a very long time.
Hours.
Hours when I'm commentating and or modeling. So it's a very long time. One particular shoe got me really good, and I had to be mindful of that. But I also wear it until I'll take a little bit of the ooey ouchie until it conforms. Sometimes we have to do that. But
Yep.
if you wet a paper towel and stuff it in your shoe, it'll stretch to conform to your feet. So that's a little trick for us models. So you do have those things that'll stretch it a little bit.
Okay.
Hey, Harold, can I jump in here real quick? I want to just
go
add
ahead.
one thing to Paul was saying. So my youngest daughter, I want to say shout out to my baby girl, Courtney Johnson. We were talking to her and my mom, and she was telling my wife that she actually gets on a treadmill, walks backwards with her heels on for endurance, so that she can actually with her heels on, so that she can endure just being able to walk.
Mm-hmm.
And she does it for exercise and of course to shape her legs. But she was telling us that if you do that, it actually helps with you being able to endure and walk for a long time. And I think that must be something that the younger ladies are doing a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple people on TikTok doing that, but she definitely does. And she says it works really, really, really well. Helps her to walk in heels easily.
That's a great
Well,
tip.
I think the operative phrase was "baby girl."
Well, I'm not gonna listen. Let me say this. Let me say this. My baby girl is in her 20s. I won't say how old she is because she might not want me to tell you, but she's over 25. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, well, for the more seasoned sisters,
Hello.
perhaps we would not recommend getting on a treadmill and a pair of heels.
Yeah,
or
bring
else
your bling flats and your bling sneakers. That work just fine because
you'll definitely trend on TikTok. Michael, one of the things, speaking of social media, that I've seen you wearing as we move into the fall are these new wide leg or bell bottoms. Is that a flash in the pan? What's going on with that?
Yeah, you know how it is a flash in the pan. As we all know, fashion is cyclical. So what we're starting to see is a bit of the 70s and the 80s come back with a vengeance. And you're seeing a lot of men. Women have been doing it for probably a little bit longer, maybe in the last 5-7 years. But this has really caught on with men. So you're going to see the bell bottoms or the wider bottoms, and men in jeans and slacks, and all these different things. And it's really a great look. And it's an homage to the guys in the 70s who really wore it well. So when you think about, like, let's say a Teddy Pendergrass, who is one of my style icons, that guy dressed, him and Marvin Gaye, to me, are two of the best dressed men I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, that's talking about even today. But you will see that it's coming back, and it's a great look. It's almost like they call it here in Texas, it's the boot look, right? So it's a boot jean, so because it covers up the boot, but this is just a little bit wider. Some guys are going really wide, like the real wide bell bottom, but it's really stylish. It's a very cool look. And as a matter of fact, Harold, I'm actually experimenting with it with a tuxedo. That's how far it's kind of gone, because it's just a beautiful look when done well. And there's some tips and tricks to that. You don't want to get something where, in my opinion, especially I'm 55. So for us over 55, you don't want that real, tight leg, and then it opens up real wide at the bottom. You want something that's going to be a little bit more symmetrical. So it's a little bit wider in the thigh, and then it kind of tailors to the knee, and then it opens back up below the knee. But it's a very
that's
good
what
look.
I saw. And I was
Yeah,
going to say that also. This is definitely less Superfly and
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
and more. Uh, oh gosh, I'm really going to tell my age now. And more of the moments, or Ray Goodman and Brian.
Yeah, actually, how it really, you know what it is? Again, because fashion is cyclical, what people do is they go backwards and look for inspiration. And
Yep.
so you're right. What they've done, what these kids have done, is gone back, looked at what was done in the '70s specifically, and then they put their own spin on it, right?
Hmm.
And it's become a. I'm telling you, it's a phenomenon. It is absolutely beautiful when done well.
Yeah, the palazzo pant for the
Yeah.
ladies is trending for
Mm-hmm.
day after 5 happy hour. The palazzo
Yep.
pant is it. Yep.
It's a
Mm.
beautiful look. It really is on men and women.
So when we're talking about the fall, Paula, because this is also gala season.
Hmm.
This is not, well, their gala is obviously year round, but this really is the season when these things begin to ramp up. I mean, this is October. Holiday season really begins in a month, and are women seeing any kinds of newer trends with gowns, or is it pretty much the same thing that we've been seeing, the old standbys?
I would say it's shifted a little. It's more to me. I've seen more of the bling everywhere for the ladies. The more bling, the better. Um,
Really?
I love the back outs. There's a lot of back outs, deep V cuts of that nature, and those that don't like the cutout styles, you can still have your traditional conservative looks, but there's a lot in the bling fitted, I want to say bodycon style, because shapewear is a big thing, for the
Oh
ladies
yes.
as well. So the bodycon gown, the bodycon dress, the thigh high split. So, and added a little bling to it. Yeah, that is fabulous. It's fabulous. And if
So
you have the
here's
body
another.
to showcase cutouts, I say go for it.
So here's a question for you, Paula. For I've also seen at kind of with the step and repeat events. I've seen a lot of women wearing suits,
Mm-hmm.
pants,
Mm-hmm.
jackets
Mm-hmm.
with no blouse underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this is giving you a peep of cleavage.
Mm-hmm.
But but here's my question, and I think a lot of ladies who want to be daring, and if you got it, flaunted, should they buy a women's formal suit for that, or can they buy a man's suit that fits them and then have it tailored? What do you recommend?
I would do either or. Whatever works for you, because I know I can wear a 34 regular. I can probably get away with that, right?
Okay.
So, and I would embellish it just a little bit, to fit my style. But back to the no shirt, I actually gave a little hint of that at the Congressional Black Caucus. I had on a satin suit and I had on a
Okay.
rhinestone top, but I didn't show the cleavage. I just gave a hint of the rhinestone top, just so they could see that it was a rhinestone. I mean, it was completely big rhinestone top. Just a little bit. For me, a little says a lot. That's for
Yeah.
me. To give you
Yeah.
a say, hey, not I leave some to the imagination. It's still my motto. Not to
Yeah.
showcase, everything that God gave you. Just give them a little taste and be, grateful with it. But
And I
either
go
suit,
ahead.
I would rock it. I would rock both of them, especially with a Michael hat. Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly, and to your point about cleavage and the like, as we know, a lot of it has to do with taste, but you know, some women have more than others,
Mm-hmm.
and could could put them in a position where they've got to figure out, how much to show,
Right.
particularly if they've been, particularly blessed, as opposed to,
Mm-hmm.
some women who are not busty at all. They may be a B cup, they may be
Mm-hmm.
an A cup, which gives them different options.
Right. Right.
Hey, Harold, can I jump in real quick on this one?
Go ahead.
So I am making suits for women. I make suits for women. I make tuxedos for women. I just finished one. I'm getting ready to deliver it on Monday. And not this particular client, but I have clients in their 50s. They don't wear anything but pasties under these jackets. And you know what else? This is the other thing too. Women are so adventurous and courageous. Doesn't matter if you're an A cup, B cup, C cup, D cup, E cup. I've seen it all. Some women don't care about what size cup they are. They like
Okay.
the look of the no shirt, no bra. And some of them wear that body jewelry. So you'll see, and that's actually, I love seeing women who really dress it up. So you might see Rihanna does a lot of this where she'll have a necklace on, but the necklace is actually, it shapes her chest and it comes down sometimes, right down the center of the cleavage down to her belly button or something like that. And it kind of dresses up that look. And so that you're not necessarily focused on the cleavage, but now you're intrigued because you see this body jewelry and how it's also being put together. There's some really creative ways
Mm-hmm.
to do that. But I've seen a lot of women now, especially in tuxedo jackets, either for men or for women, because women can get away with that for the most part. They can wear a man's jacket. The only difference being is the opening, the left versus the right. But that
And
doesn't even
Michael,
make a difference.
you touched on something else. The oversized blazer is back. So the
Exactly.
ladies
Right.
love the oversized look. So
What?
that's something that will
Yeah,
definitely where the gender crossing, with the suits will play,
exactly. And it's not
hand
just the
in hand.
jacket. Yeah, you're right, Paul. It's not just the jacket, it's the whole suit. Like I've
Yeah.
seen women get whole tuxedos,
Oh
and it's
yeah.
absolutely beautiful. You know what? Because we're talking about this, and this is for any woman who might want to try it. I would love to work with you on this because you just inspired me just now when you said that. I love pinstripes. I would love to do a pinstripe, double-breasted, oversized suit for a woman because it's super duper sexy. I mean, and with the sleeves pulled up, Paula, with a nice
Yes.
pair of pumps on, with a 4-inch cup at the bottom. Listen, I
Yes.
don't know who out there hear me, but yeah, let's tee that one up. Let's
I, I
definitely tee that up.
I like that, and I can hear some of our listeners saying, "Well, I want to be daring, but I also don't want everybody to see what I had for breakfast." And so, um, and Paula, this is specifically for you, um, a skin tape to make sure that things don't fly open unexpectedly. You know how does that skin tape work? I know that some women have put it to make sure that the clothes do not expose so much when you're talking about
Mhm.
cleavage. So how do you, and like I said, we're getting down into the weeds, but how does that stuff really work?
It does. When I was doing my pageantry stuff, we used the skin tape, double-sided tape. We also used adhesive spray to cheat a little bit. It was
Really?
spray for the skin, yeah. But as Michael mentioned earlier, pasties are also a good form of coverage and support. You just have to get the good quality pasties, and they call them strapless bras. They just
Right.
stick and hold. So, but they are built to last. If you're not an
Mhm.
over sweater, it would definitely work for you. So you may have to go and adjust, pat, and readjust, but it does work. They work
Okay.
well. Mhm.
Michael, let's talk a little bit about tuxedos for men this fall. The evolution of the male tuxedo has really expanded over the past several years from colors. It's not just black, or it's not
Mhm.
just the white jacket with the black pants. What is daring for men who want to really stand out when it comes to a tuxedo this
Yeah,
fall?
Man, Harold, I've seen some stuff. I personally, because you and I are in the same, all of us are in the same age group. But I see a lot of these younger guys, man. They're wearing color is, I mean, they're wearing every color under the sun, so that's a given now. They're wearing velvet, that's already a given. But the thing I'm starting to see a lot of, and I don't personally care for, but I know some men do, they're bedazzled, Paula. You'll see all of this, crystals and bling and all these lapel pins and all the rest of this other kind of stuff. I've seen a whole jacket with Swarovski crystals on it. I've seen it, on the lapels. I've seen it on one side of the jacket. I mean, now the rules have really kind of been thrown out the window for the most part for some of these things. Now, if you're a traditionalist like I am, you're probably going to stick to black or white. There's some other colors you'll go to as well. But the younger guys, man, for the most part, they're going all the way. I mean, like imagine a jacket with red rhinestones on them.
Yeah,
It's just pink rhinestones, purple rhinestones, all of this. For me, it's a little much. It's a lot busy, but hey, I don't knock it. If that's, what you like, then go ahead and wear it. But that's it. I personally would suggest you stick to, the traditional black or white dinner jackets. There's so much you can do in that space. Cummerbunds, by the way, I'm gonna throw this out there because, I try to stay at the forefront of this. Cummerbunds have made a comeback. So I've seen now where some guys are wearing tuxedos with cummerbunds. So instead of like a waistcoat or a vest, they'll throw a cummerbund on with a beautiful shirt tied, whole 9 yards. Bow ties, of course, the smaller ones. And a lot of guys are wearing an oversized one. But again, if you want to be a traditionalist, you'll probably wear more, modest and medium-sized bow tie, maybe like a 3.5, or maybe even a 2.5 versus a 4.5 or 5.5. But yeah, man, they're getting very, very creative. And they're wearing different color trousers. So, typically you'd wear a black trouser. Man, I've seen blue, I've seen white, I've seen green, I've seen pink cow, orange. I mean, it's all over the place, man. It really is.
I guess it depends on the event.
It does. And I was just getting ready to say that, Harold, that it does depend on the event because you want to read the room. You don't want to come into, an event where it tells you it's black tie. That's very specific. That means no bling, no pink trousers, no pink tuxedos. Now, I must say, because I'm a member of the Silver Fox Squad, we wear all of this stuff because, depending on what we're doing and who we're doing for. Let me just real quick, and this is no knock to anyone else, but shout out to the AKAs only because they support us like they do. Shout out to you also. When we attend their events, you'll probably see us 9 times out of 10. We may be wearing a pink suit or a green suit or something, maybe a pink top with green trousers and all the different shades of pink, all the different shades of green, so forth and so on. So that's what I mean when I say that. Even tuxedo wise, if we were going to a formal event with the AKAs, I personally I would wear a rose color or a hot pink tuxedo jacket because of that event. So it does matter.
Definitely read the room. In these last few minutes, and I'll start specifically with Paula, because I do remember, Paula, years ago, you had a consignment upscale kind of thrift store. And as I said, a lot of the things that we've been talking about during this conversation, people are trying to hold on to their money, particularly those who are federal government workers. But then there are some others who may want to be discerning in their shopping. When you're doing thrift shopping, are there any basics, and specifically for the women, that you need to pay attention to when you're doing that?
I would say stick to your budget. Stick to your budget because sometimes when you visit a thrift store, and prayers and shout out to my fellow federal government workers.
Yeah.
When you are thrifting, pay attention to pricing. I locked up a few times here, and I recently went thrifting and I found a pair of Tory Burch shoes for $19. That's a steal. That's a steal. It wasn't my size, but I bought them for my sister because you would never find it nowhere else. I also find, and what I find is you have a lot of our young people working the thrift stores and pricing. I found a Dooney and Burke bag for $5. It was a tote. So you will stumble and find those upscale items for less. And you may have to pay a little more than you expect, but look for the quality still, even though you're thrifting. Look for the quality and go on the sale days. Believe it or not, thrift stores have their 50% off days. As everyone, when I had my store, I did that as well. And something that I want to shout out to my other thrift stores, if you're not doing it, I had stuff a bag for $20 a day. So you can come in to stuff a bag and pay $20. So look out for us while we're going through, these trying times. Look out for those that still need to survive. And, the prince has to wear some clothes. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
and also, I know you've got to look for, you got to make sure that you look at the clothes carefully.
Carefully, yeah. You don't want nothing that's really soiled. When you do look at the shoes, look at the bottom, the wear and tear. If the shoe hasn't been worn, it's a definite buy, and then if it has been worn, I generally I don't buy. So I don't buy shoes that have been worn. That's just me. That may not be your style, but that's what I do. But look for the quality in the shoe if it's peeling, because that means it's dry rot and it's not any good. So don't purchase that. Yep.
Interesting. Michael, I'll let you have a last word, since we started with Paula about the fall fashion and what guys may need to do also as they're trying to be discriminating when they're shopping this fall.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is you can go back into your closet and just add pieces to it. You don't necessarily have to go out and get a full wardrobe. So one of the things you might want to do is, ramp up on your sweaters, because this is going to be a sweater season, and it's going to be, you can do so many different things with a sweater. It's unbelievable. Pick up some shirts. I always tell men, when you're building your wardrobe, start with your shirts. To me, that's the foundation of your wardrobe. And the more shirts you have in your wardrobe, the more you can work your wardrobe. You can wear a different shirt with a different suit and almost trick somebody's eye, because they don't realize, this is a difference. They think it's a different suit, but you just change the shirt out. You might have changed some of the accessories around it. And that's another thing. You can add accessories like scarves and things like this. You don't necessarily have to break the bank. Rework your closet. If you have, if you need help reworking the closet, you can reach out to me, men, and I'll show you how to rework your whole entire closet on a budget, so you don't have to break the budget. Now, you may need to do some things, with your trousers, with your coats, all these different things. You could do things. So for instance, Harold and Paul, I've been telling my men clients this. I've been doing this for years. I wear 3-piece suits, right? So I usually do this because I will take the vest or the waistcoat and wear it with something completely different, like a pair of jeans or another suit, or pair it with another jacket or something like that. So I've not broken the bank. I just reworked my wardrobe a little bit and shifted some things here and there to give me a much larger looking wardrobe. I didn't add any other pieces. It just looks different because I wore it differently. That's all.
There you go. Look, I think we need to end here, but I want to thank both of you, as always, Paula Mason and Michael Johnson. I appreciate your time and helping us look good, even as we're trying to watch our wallets. That is the Daily Drum for this Friday, October 3rd. For News Director Renee Nash, I'm Harold Fisher. Good night.